Why, yes, I am sitting next to a giant phone. Thanks for noticing. The ability of our phones to distract us from what truly matters is just getting worse, which is why I decided to plant myself right next to this thing so that you and I could have a little conversation about how to have a better relationship with the giant phone in the room. It's no secret that a lot of things on our phone are designed to get our attention. They're designed to hold our attention. They're designed to entertain us. They're designed to give us the things that we need when we need them, information, access to other people. And so I think the idea that we can just abandon it and ignore it or kind of crawl back into our cave and just refuse technology completely is just kind of short-sighted and not really indicative of the reality that we're living in. I think that instead we need to think about how do we change our relationship with the thing that we can't really seem to escape and whose impacts are always looming over us. If you've ever tried to just brute force your way through ignoring notifications and ignoring distractions, then you know that it takes a lot of energy to try to just like force yourself to not pay attention to kind of the things you have going on and the things that are calling for your attention. There is a better way to start addressing some of the distractions that come from having a phone and living in the world that we live in. And every time we take a small step towards controlling the way that our technology enters our lives rather than our technology looming over us and controlling our lives, we start to reduce its power over us just a little bit, just a little bit. See, let me just show you. Watch this. The first thing you want to do is go through your settings and turn off all the non-essential notifications. All the things that you don't need to see during the day and that when it comes up, you probably ignore it anyways. Every time that those things grab your attention, it derails whatever it is you're working on, whether or not you like to admit it. But watch what happens when we start to turn non-essential notifications off. Pretty cool, huh? The next thing you need to do is use Do Not Disturb. I don't really care what your situation is, you probably don't need to have your phone on all the time. My phone is on Do Not Disturb for the entirety of my workday. And guess what? No one's ever had a problem with that. There's never been an emergency where someone couldn't get a hold of me. There's never been anything that was so important that it needed my attention and needed me to drop everything. There's literally a feature built into your phone where it will prevent itself from distracting you and pulling you away from whatever is actually important and right in front of you. Use it. Doing that starts to reduce its power just a little bit more. Another thing that I typically struggle with is feeling like I have to have my phone with me all the time. And that if it's not in my pocket, then I somehow feel like I'm missing something, which I am. I carry this thing with me whenever I leave the house, whenever I go out run an errand. But if you start to practice just leaving it behind and not taking it with you when you go into the other room, or when you go outside for a walk, or when you go run to the grocery store, just see what happens. Sure, something's going to come up where you're going to need it and be like, dang, I wish I brought it with me. But also you'll find that you can work through those situations just fine without a phone. And remember, we live in 2025. If you really need a phone, someone will let you use it in an emergency. So let me ask you this. When was the last time you took a dump without your phone? Because I can tell you I've done it a couple of times this week. And at first, it's kind of a strange experience because the first thing you do when you sit down is reach for your phone. But then what do you do with yourself when you don't have it? Oh, I don't know. Maybe just go to the bathroom like a human being and move on with your life. You don't need it in the bathroom. Trust me, just stop. So when you start to leave your phone behind and stop carrying it around like a baby blanket, that's right, it gets a little bit smaller. And now there's one final thing that I think you should consider doing. Instead of looking at your phone for entertainment, you should try replacing it with a notebook. Try replacing it with something that you can work through ideas and entertain yourself instead of having some weird box and some algorithm decide what is entertaining for the day. Take control of your own entertainment, take control of your own mind, and start to just journal and see what happens. Maybe bring this to the toilet instead of your phone. And once you start to do these small steps and change these small little habits that kind of redefine the relationship with your phone, eventually it's going to get so small that it won't have very much power over you anymore. And you'll be able to carry on life with or without it and really lean into the things that are important for you to put your eyeballs on and focus your attention on instead of whatever this thing has to show you.